F30 340i has been an extremely popular choice with enthusiasts, and for good reason. It offers a reliable and highly capable engine and a practical everyday car. They've also reached that sweet spot in the market where they're old enough for ordinary people like myself to be able to afford them, while still being new enough that you can easily find pristine low mileage examples. If you follow my channel, you know that this isn't just any 340i, this is my own personal car that I've had for the last 2 years, and in this video I want to discuss what it's been like to live with this car, some ownership costs, some maintenance, and some modifications that I'd recommend. The F30 was the 6th generation BMW 3 Series, and the 340i was the top model offered in the final years of production. Out of all the engines that were offered for the F30, the B58 found in the 340i is the one to get. The B58 is a 3-liter turbocharged inline-6, and in this application it makes 320 horsepower and 330 foot-pounds of torque out of the box, but it'll easily make more than that with a few simple mods. More on that later in the video. My subjective opinion is that the F30 is the most aggressive looking 3 Series, and it's hard to believe that this design is 10 years old. The 340i is just as practical as it is a capable performance car. You can tear up some back roads, or you can fill it up with luggage and drive it across the country getting 30 plus mpg, or you can go to Lowe's and fill it up with home improvement supplies. It's really a car that can do it all with few compromises. With a huge aftermarket for parts and a massive online community, it's easy to see why these cars are in such high demand. The driving experience, at least in stock form, feels soft, especially for me coming from an E90. The F30 was the first generation 3 Series to have electric steering, which feels numb and disconnected, and it took me a little while to get used to. Now, BMW used to pride themselves on being the ultimate driving machine, but on the road, the F30 feels like it's lacking some of the character of BMWs that came before it. Even though the 340i was the top F30 model, you'll still find some of these that are sparsely optioned. This car, for example, was sort of a stripper model. A lot of the parts can be easily retrofitted though. Just understand that buying a 340i doesn't guarantee that you're getting a well-optioned car, despite the price tag. The 340i was available in all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive with either a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic. I went with the rear-wheel drive automatic and I don't regret it. There was a time when manual transmissions were the default option for car enthusiasts, but recently automatics have got really good. In the case of this 8-speed auto, it's slightly quicker while achieving better MPG than its 6-speed counterpart. Honestly though, you can't go wrong either way, and considering the small performance difference between the two, it really comes down to your own personal preference. My only suggestion would be, if you're a diehard manual person like I used to be, at least give the 8-speed a try. I think you'll be really impressed. Choosing between rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, or X-Drive as BMW calls it, is just a question of how often you'll drive in deep snow. For me, even though I live in an area that gets heavy snowfall, I live off of main roads to get plowed right away, so I don't necessarily need the all-wheel drive to get where I'm going. To put it simply, rear-wheel drive is more fun and less maintenance. So if you're considering buying a 340i, here's a few ownership costs to factor in. For full coverage car insurance, I'm paying around $1,000 every 6 months, or roughly $167 per month. Now keep in mind that your age, driving record, and the state that you live in will all affect your insurance rate. It cost me $231 per year to register this car in the state of Michigan. Like most BMWs, the 340i requires premium fuel, which is around $5 a gallon near me at the time that I'm recording this. Now, the MPG on this car varies wildly based on how you drive it. Right now, I'm averaging around 27 MPG with mostly highway driving. Now, that'll dip down to the low 20s for those spirited back road drives, but I've even got as high as 32 MPG on my last road trip to New Jersey using the car's Eco Pro mode. It's cool that this car can be a performance car when you want it to be, but also a fuel-efficient gas saver just by switching up my driving style. I made a list of some of the most common maintenance items for this car. Now these prices are based on using OEE parts and assuming that you'll do the work yourself. Oil change, $80. Personally, I change my oil twice a year. Cabin air filter, $21, engine air filter, $27, spark plugs, $90 for a set of 6, brake pads and wear sensors, $250 including the front and the rear. A genuine BMW battery for this car is around $270, but you can find a generic alternative for around $200 bucks. Regular maintenance on this car is not too difficult, and even a novice DIYer should be able to do most of the things that I just mentioned using a basic tool set, and being an inline 6, there's plenty of room under the hood to work. The timing chain on this car is located at the rear of the engine, and while timing chains aren't known to be issues on B58s, servicing it will be complicated if the time ever comes. That's why it's crucial to keep up with regular oil changes. F30s have a lot of support for mods, both aftermarket and genuine BMW, and some parts are even interchangeable with the F80 M3, and being that the engine is shared with the Toyota Supra, there's a huge selection of performance upgrades available. Huge shout out to keysmotorsports.com for sponsoring this entire build. So I'm going to link my complete list of mods down below, but here's just a few that I'd recommend. For suspension, I'm running the Buice B16 coilovers, which made the most dramatic improvement to this car out of all the modifications that I did. The stock suspension on F30s is on the soft side, especially on the non-M Sport models, and getting aftermarket coilovers makes a huge improvement. Even a simple spring and shock upgrade like something like Buice B14 kit is going to make a massive improvement over stock. One of the first things that we did when I bought this car was a simple boot mode stage 1 tune, and just with the tune alone we added 45 horsepower and 55 foot-pounds of torque, and it's cool to be able to get to that power level without even opening the hood and while retaining stock reliability. Like I said, this is one of the first mods that we did over 2 years ago, and I haven't had any issues with the car, and it's more than enough power for me. Honestly, I haven't felt the need to do a bigger turbo or other mods that could potentially hurt the reliability. One of the nice things about keeping the stock turbo is there's very little lag, it spools really quickly, and it makes it fun to drive around town. You don't really have to wring it out to get the most power out of it. BMW actually offers some pretty cool interior upgrades for this car, like the dry carbon fiber and Alcantara trim pieces. They totally change the look and feel of the interior, and being genuine parts, everything fits like stock. I'm happy to report that in 2 years and approximately 20,000 miles of ownership, I haven't had any major issues with this car. Knock on plastic. But with 56,000 miles on the car currently, I haven't seen so much as a check engine light. That being said, here are a few common B58 issues. Unexplained coolant loss. Many B58 owners have noticed their main expansion tank slowly losing coolant over time despite not having any obvious leaks. First, check the cap on the expansion tank. If you see dried coolant on the threads, it's possible that the coolant is evaporating from an ill-fitting cap. You can buy a replacement cap for around $15. If you replace the cap but you're still losing coolant, you want to have the cooling system pressure tested for leaks. In any case, all 340i owners should periodically check their coolant levels. Some higher mileage B58 owners have reported leaking water pumps, leaking oil filter housings, leaks from the water to air intercooler, and Vanos issues. Typical BMW stuff. While the B58 has a reputation for being a reliable engine overall with no widespread catastrophic issues, I suspect that the extensive use of plastic parts will be problematic as these cars age, especially if previous generation BMWs are an indicator of that. Not specific to the B58, but F30s have a common issue where the retaining clips that hold the parking brakes on the bottom of the car will break off, allowing the cables to hang down and drag on the drive shaft and make a horrible noise. I have a video on how to replace it. It's only an $8 part, but it's fairly labor intensive to replace. If you're physically able to, you'll save a lot of money if you can DIY this one. The used car market has been all over the place the last couple of years, but lately I've been seeing 340i's in my area anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000. I'd say if you can get one of these for under $30K, it's a really solid car for the price, especially considering that these were upwards of $55,000 brand new just a few years ago. With the 340i, you're getting the performance and mod support of the new Supra with the comfort and everyday practicality of a BMW 3 Series. If you're thinking about buying a 340i or any F30 model, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and browse my videos for DIYs, tricks and tips, and reviews for mods that I've done. You can also follow me on Instagram @JustinBuice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.